Summertime is heating up at Global Voice Broadcasting. Hot music, hot talk, and hot topics. All day, every day, 24/7. You don't want to miss a minute on Global Voice Broadcasting.
I highly recommend Ms. Hicks. Her books, her CDs are encouraging.
I bought her book, A Hill to Climb. She's a very inspirational speaker.
And I look forward to one day being able to work with her.
Your power lies within you. Let it loose.
Aspiration, inspiration, motivation, edification, determination. These are the keys of life success brought to you by none other than award-winning author, motivational lecturer, business consultant, and much more as she gets you aimed to your purpose. And now, ladies and gentlemen, young and elder, from Hollywood to the entire world, here is your host of Aim to Purpose, the radio show, Louise Hicks, along with her co-host, yours truly, Kennon Wesley Mason. Hello, world. And how is everyone doing today and this evening and tonight? This is Aim to Purpose, the radio show. I am your co-host, Kennon Mason, and as always, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone listening and watching Aim to Purpose, the radio show from all over the world as we broadcast live right here in the studio here at Global Voice Broadcasting. And today, we're doing something a little different, which I've been looking forward to for a while. We don't have any guests this week. So what we're going to do is we are going to do something that we don't do that often, is take some time out to discuss some of the current events and hot topics more in depth. If for anyone that's been watching Aim to Purpose, the radio show, for the 2 years that we've been on the air, we typically talk about some hot topics and current events before we have on our special guests for the show. But we're going to do the entire show on today's hot topics. And joining me is none other than the one and only host of Aim to Purpose, the radio show. She's calling in via telephone all the way from Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, the host of Aim to Purpose, the radio show, Louise Hicks.
Well, hello, world. How is everybody today? And we are excited about our show today, and I'm happy that Ken has already shared with you a little information. Due to a scheduling conflict, our featured guest for today was unable to come on the show. So, as always, the show must go on. And we have some great hot topics for you today. And feel free to call in. The call-in number is 1-323-522-5482. So if you wish to join us on some of these hot topics that we're going to be talking about and current events, because that's something that we do rarely get a chance to do. So I'm excited about us moving forward with our show today, and we will be sharing with you some great hot topics. So first, let me share with you my great hot topic. As Kennon said, I'm down here in the great big state, huge state of Texas, and this past weekend I was invited to participate in the second annual Vanity Fair fashion show Night Out, and I did a little modeling. And I want to share with you one of my outfits that I modeled, but it was very exciting. Miss Norma Finnan, who is a wellness expert, wellness consultant, I should say, invited me to join the event, and it was awesome. They had the youth here, of course, Corsicana, as well as along with some young men and women, youth, high school kids, and also some more mature women participating in this fashion show. In fact, it was an all-day event, and it was in support of the Breast Cancer Research Foundation, and that's why they had this. So who knows what next year may bring. I may be participating again because I really had a lot of fun, met a lot of nice people, great people, and I'm still here in Texas. So Ken has one of the pictures of the actual flyer for the event. Do you have that?
Yeah,
Ken?
actually, it's up on the screen now. The second annual Fashion Night Out. So we're looking at it right now.
And it was fun. And I'll just share with you the next one, the highlight of one of the outfits I wore. I think I wore about 4 or 5 outfits, and one of the outfits that I wore was very exciting. So I wanted to share that because it's like history repeats itself. And these were bell-bottom pants, as you can see. And it's so funny because I remember when I got out of high school, I wore at a barbecue for the 4th of July. This was 1969. I had on a pair of bell-bottoms similar to what I have on this picture.
That's right.
So
straight out the psychedelic 70s.
Oh, yeah. And it was exciting. And that was a pre-fashion show print picture there. The actual one I wore something a little bit more funky. I had a little flop hat on. I should say a bigger flop hat on the actual show that I wore. And it was really fun, really nice. So I had a great time.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much my hot topic for the show today. But I know Ken has lots to share.
Well,
and he has pictures and everything.
I like that the fashion show went well because, like you said, history does repeat itself, especially with fashion. We see that what we just saw with what you had on. There are people in different age demographics that are bringing these trends back into high fashion now, as they were 30, 40 years ago.
Yes, that is so true. And this show was in a location called Corsicana, Texas. And we were really excited about coming kind of like home to me because I wasn't born in Corsicana, but I've lived in Corsicana. And I kind of love it when I come down here because it's very relaxing and just love it.
Yeah.
But anyhow, we have a little bit of a surprise. Just got a message that Miss Gloria Williams, Miss FOOTNANNY, is going to call into the show.
Okay.
And so I said that's fine to have her to go ahead and call in. So we should anticipate getting a call from her shortly.
Yep.
And she is known as Miss FOOTNANNY, and I believe we have a video there to show. So as soon as we get her on the phone, we will put
we'll show the video when she comes on.
Yeah, we'll put the video on when she comes on. But for now, let's talk a little bit more, I guess, about what the show is about today, because it's going to be exciting. And Ken, you have all of
well, there's the first thing is something that you brought up. It's a piece from Infowars.com pertaining to its election season here in America, and the two candidates that are running for president, they can't seem to stay out of the news, obviously, for obvious reasons. But this particular piece specifically goes into the Democratic nomination, Hillary Rodham Clinton. And I guess this particular report reveals some of the skeletons that she doesn't want to reveal, but at the same time wanting to reveal certain things about her opponent, Republican candidate Donald Trump. And she had a quote from Maya Angelou, and I can't I don't know the exact quote, but paraphrasing, it has to do with something about when you say something the first time around, this is what the public should stick with, and therefore no one can change their mind on certain issues or subjects or situations going on in the country that that may affect the American people. And we don't have the clip of Hillary's statement, but it reminded me of what she said about Margaret Sanger. And you've brought this up on our show a few times about her praising Margaret Sanger for her her way of looking at life and how she wanted to pursue the elimination, if you will, of African American people here in America. And Hillary Clinton was, I guess, praising the woman that made these statements. So now whether she still believes that today, I don't know. But this is something that she did say once upon a time. And should we hold it against her, the things that she may have said 20, 30 years ago? Or should we stick with the things that she said and think that, I guess, she's, the ultimate evil, and she's a person that can't change her mind on certain issues? So it's really, but this is the game of politics. It's the same game that we see every 4 years. One person says something about a certain topic, and then they may change their mind 10 years later, but the other candidate will repeat something that they said 10 years ago. And the public believes that this is their current state of mind when it comes to current affairs. So you brought this particular issue to my attention. So, but again, this is politics. This is politics at it. This is politics.
That's the game of politics.
This is politics
so right.
at its finest, where you have the candidates literally beating each other up in the press and in front of the media and in front of the entire country. And we also see Hillary Clinton. Her health seems to not be on the up and up lately. And actually, this is nothing new. This is something that's been going on now for the last few years, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, it has been. Her health has been in the news for quite some time.
That's right. I think she left her position as Secretary of State because of, I don't think it was primarily because of her health issues, but I believe that was, it had something to do with it.
Yeah, I believe so too. But they're very closed-mouthed about this situation. And like I had someone shared that Alex Jones InfoWars media with me on Facebook, and I really don't know how true it is, but they were saying that they're scrambling to find another candidate because Hillary may drop out of the race in view of all the controversies, not only with the Benghazi situation, but with her health, and them, according to what was said, that they didn't show the full footage of her health issue that happened. I think it was last week, whatever day, I don't recall. Right. But that's pretty much what happened.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's pretty amazing that this is we see these two candidates. We see a candidate that's not in the greatest of health, but we keep telling the world that we have a great healthcare system, and but our presidential candidate is not in the greatest of health. So it has to, or I would think that it would have some people at least consider why at least Hillary Clinton, this is the same woman that wanted the entire country back in 2008 to have mandated for everyone to purchase health insurance, whether you're sick or healthy. So
That is true.
So the entire political climate. I could go on and on about the political climate and how it deceives the people, but I believe we have our special guest on. We have our guest on the line. Gloria Williams. Is Gloria on the line?
Hello, this is Gloria.
Hey.
Hi, Gloria. How are you?
I am fine.
Great. This great. We're glad to have you call in. It was a bit of a surprise to us, but we're so happy to have you, Miss FOOTNANNY, and we have a special video we'd like to share with our audience. So if you would just hold on a little bit.
Okay.
We don't have the video now.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have the video now. But
you were talking about the White House, so I do, and I have serviced the First Lady of the United States several times.
Oh wow.
Michelle Obama.
Okay.
She got the FOOTNANNY treatment.
Okay.
Oh, great.
Wow.
Great. Well, we want to share some information. We did have a video that we were going to share with you speaking, actually telling your story. But since we don't have that now,
I'm better than the video.
There you go.
Right. That's what I was just going to say. We will have you to tell your story.
That's right.
How you became the FOOTNANNY.
That's right.
Well, the political topic was really exciting. What you all were talking about, I want to jump in there, but we'll come back.
Jump on in there and say what you want to say, because you were saying you had met First Lady Michelle Obama several times. Is that correct?
Yes, and she was. I was a gift on 2 occasions. Oprah treated her for her birthday to a FOOTNANNY treatment, and then her friends treated her to another FOOTNANNY treatment in Virginia at the Salamander Resort, and that's Sheila Johnson's resort. I'm sure you know who Sheila Johnson is.
Mm-hmm.
She owns about 6 different resorts. She's the ex-wife of the former BET president, and she's a powerful woman. So it was really an honor to service her, and honestly to actually meet the First Lady and see how together she was, and how she was just a normal person, but very smart, very intelligent, and very polite. She was running things from where we were all the way to the White House. So
wow.
I'm just honored. And since then, FOOTNANNY has done like a whole 360 degrees.
It's skyrocketed, huh?
I can't imagine how it has gone, because I've been reading about you, and we weren't sure whether we were going to be. We knew you had a very busy schedule, and we had told our audience that we had the other scheduled guests, and then we didn't know what had happened. So now we do have our other scheduled guests on due to some conflicts. We know how busy you guys are.
Well, I have a new distribution house. I was trying to do it with my team, but the demand is so much that now I had to get a new partnership with a company, and so the meeting ran over. We were at he has two 12,000 square foot warehouses, and my little warehouse is just 1,200 square feet. So the orders that I'm getting now, because I'm going to be in Bed Bath & Beyond, starting in November on the .com, and then in the spring in the stores, select stores.
Wow.
You know, they do a test, and then I go into all of them.
That's right.
And so you all are getting the first dibs on the store thing.
Right.
So that's a big thing. Yeah, it's a lot going on. So let me just tell you how it started. FOOTNANNY started with, first of all, everybody knew about it after the tweet. Oprah did a tweet in 2011, and when she did the tweet, she was really excited about the fact I came up with a name because I'm her personal pedicurist. And so when I came up with my name of my brand and what I really do, she was like, that's it, oh my God. And she got so excited that she tweeted it. And when she did the tweet, it went viral. And so everybody wanted to know, where was a foot nanny in their neighborhood? How can I get a foot nanny tea? What is this foot nanny thing? What's the product? So I operated off the feedback. And 90% of my emails were from AOL.com, which that's a mature group, which is my group, but it was a really great feedback. And a lot of people pay thousands and thousands of dollars to know exactly who to market to. So now I know Bed Bath & Beyond is my client, and that's what I always wanted to be in that store, at least one store.
Right.
You know, so what happened from there, from the tweet, everybody wanted to know. Everybody wanted to know, is there a foot nanny in their neighborhood? So I stuck with the product first, and it was online only, and it's been on Good Morning America 3 times, the product. It's been on HSN 3 times, but now I'll be going on eBuying Live and Home Shopping Network in person. So
nice.
eBuying Live is a online shopping. It's a television, and it's online shopping, but it's just like QVC and HSN. The people who own that used to work for those 2 brands, and so they don't ask you for a huge amount. So it's easier to provide a quality and a upscale kind of a packaging for that audience because of the volume they ask. It's reasonable enough for you to do that. And they don't sell at like bargain basement prices. eBuying is for like Rolex, Gucci, Paula Deen is on there, Vanessa Williams, you know, all this, anything that's celebrity connected or it has to have a story. So after Oprah did the tweet and all this other stuff is happening, the common denominator of all of this is my story. And Evine heard about my story as far as my mother teaching me the old-fashioned rub-down, and her gift of touch was passed on to me. And she used to also mix different little concoctions. You know how Mama and Grandmama used to
I know about that. That you're talking about, yes. I'm from the South. I'm from Louisiana, so I know.
Yes, and then when Mama or Grandmama used to cook, or Daddy, some dads cooked a lot too. My father did too. When you smelled that aroma, it made you feel good, right?
Right.
So it was either the touch or the aroma. So I designed a line of foot creams that mimic some of the thoughts and emotions of my childhood. So eucalyptus is one of the top sellers. And eucalyptus it was Oprah's favorite thing for 2015 in her magazine. And another one is the other top ones are peppermint, lavender, and tea tree. And those 3 were Oprah's favorite things on her Christmas list for 2014. And so then I have pumpkin vanilla, which makes you think of Thanksgiving, of course, and the holidays. You get those warm and fuzzy thoughts. Then I have chocolate. That's another big one, chocolate.
Right.
If you love chocolate, you'll love Foot Nanny. Now, there are some people that say they use the Foot Nanny chocolate when they have this urge to eat chocolate and they really don't want to eat it. So they put it on and they say the essential oil smell makes them feel good and they feel full. Or some people say it helps them with their migraines, you know. So I don't promote it that way, but I know it works in many, many ways. Right. Then I have unscented. The guys love unscented. And the guys also love tea tree. They like saying that. I don't know why it feels like real masculine when they say tea tree. And then I have lemon. And then I have salts. I have soaking salts. My newest foot cream for the holiday is rose. That's my newest foot cream. And then I have the salts, you know, like Epsom. It's mixed with Himalayan, Dead Sea salts, foaming sea salts. Oh, wow. So I'm trying to stay in my lane with the foot cream, but now they're demanding the salts. I don't have a scrub at this time because I don't really feel the need to have one right now. I'm enjoying the foot creams and the salts.
Yeah.
So now it's just
wonderful.
Yeah, and
I
it
can
really
imagine.
got me because the Michelle Obama thing, we never could. It was no social media behind it. I was like, oh my God, everybody needs to know this. So now that it's over with, I can say.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is quite a
That's
that is
awesome.
quite
now,
a
when
story.
was this? When you were at the White House, you said?
Well, I didn't do it at the White House. It was a gift. I was in Maui, and Oprah surprised her for her birthday. And when you were talking about Hillary and how they only told part of the story, I remember when that happened, everybody was saying, the news was saying, oh, the president left his wife in Hawaii. I'm like, well, that's because it's a surprise party.
Right.
But no one,
it makes sense. Yeah, what you're saying, yes, it was a surprise.
Well, you know how they half tell the story. It's really funny, though, but, you know.
Oh, yeah, well, we know the media always I don't follow a lot of the stuff they say because I know the media, that's why they call it programming, because people are programmed. But you had the Oprah effect then, so that really got you on your foot to FOOTNANNY.
Yeah, but when they hear her name attached to something, they expect, like, the best. Like, when I write little notes to people, they can't believe it. And when I answer the phone, like I have a call center that takes phone calls, and they take orders now, and people can't believe I'm calling them back. They're like, this is not FOOTNANNY. I'm like, yes, it is.
Right.
And, it's just
That's right.
The world we live in now, in 2016, everybody believes that is brick and mortar is played out and everybody shops online, but that's not true.
Right.
I have a ton of customers that love going to the store, and I love going to the store. You got to get out and stretch your legs, you know?
Right.
And
absolutely. Exercise. Yeah. We need that. When I was a kid, that's all we did was a lot of exercise. We didn't have a TV until I was about 10, and it was black and white. So we had lots of...
Yeah. Yeah.
We had lots of things to do, and this was in Louisiana, in Shreveport, where I was born, and then I migrated to California after high school. So you can imagine I'm older. I'm 65 and enjoying my life now and doing what I love, my passion. And it's always wonderful when you're doing your passion, especially something like what you're saying. You did this in honor of your mother, and who really taught you a lot as a kid about healing and helping neighbors. And I know all about that, sick neighbors. We used to do the same thing. My parents, they'd go sit with sick neighbors and all kinds of things. That's that Southern thing that we did.
I think we're going back to slowing it down. You know, it seemed like we were speeding up a lot, and now it just seems like people want to slow it down again. You even see Amazon. It's a great platform to sell on, but Amazon now is opening brick-and-mortar bookstores.
Right.
You know, I saw it on the news for Chicago. Yeah, a lot of people are like, okay, now you're coming back, because they realize that people still want to sit down and read a book.
That's right.
And have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee.
Absolutely.
So I think that if you have any people listening that have business, I think they should just do what they love and stay with what you believe. Listen to people for their feedback, but in the end, your customer is your customer. And I have online sales, we have telephone sales now, and we do COD. Now, you know, I had no idea that people were still doing so much COD.
Wow.
I didn't either until you mentioned it just now. Then, Gloria, that's exciting. People are still doing COD because I didn't know that. So that is great. So you have all kinds of methods how you get your product out, which is great. And you have a website. We only have a few more minutes because we need to get to some of the other topics we were that Ken has. But tell us. I know you said your product is going into bed and bath. Did you say, is that for the holidays?
Yeah. BedBathAndBeyond.com for the holiday in November, and then in the stores in the spring of 2017.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
That's
great,
nice.
great. So
And
anybody hear that now, you can go online, bedandbath.com, and get...
But any one of your callers who called, I don't know what kind of contacts you have or going, but I'll give 2 FOOTNANNY gift bag boxes to them. Just pick your winners today, and then just send me the addresses, and I'll send them a box, okay?
Nice.
Okay.
Nice. And having a massage therapy background myself, I know how how taking care of the feet is vitally important
Yes.
You know, all energy stems up through the feet first. This is where reflexology comes
Yes,
from.
absolutely.
And-
I do reflexology, Reiki, and Thai.
There you go.
The treatment is called FOOTNANNY 2000. Lately, I haven't been having time to do anybody but Oprah and the First Lady.
Right. Right.
But
That's
I'm
awesome.
training a lot of people.
Yeah.
You go to footnanny.com and order, or you can, if you use the code 2016, you get 25% off. But I'll do a drawing for you all, and I'll send you all a box too, so you can try it out. Okay?
Chocolate for me.
Awesome. I look forward
You want
to that
chocolate?
because
I love
What did he
I
say?
love chocolate myself, so maybe I'll try that.
Okay. Well,
yeah, Kennon loves chocolate, and Kennon is my biological son, by the way, Gloria. This is unusual to have a mother-son team do a show, and
Yeah.
we are excited
Well-
about it. We're going into our third season.
well, be careful because chocolate can bring you some grandbabies too.
Nah.
Well, I have
She-
one,
right.
and she's only 2, and I love having her. She's 2. I wish I had more. My kids were late bloomers, so Ken has 1, and I'm grateful
Well, which
for
one
one
do you
little
want?
granddaughter. I don't know. Just surprise me with what you think.
I'll send
know.
you eucalyptus, and I'll send Ken the chocolate, and he's gonna layer it with a little peppermint. How about that?
There you go.
Oh, that
There you
sounds
go.
good. Well, I can't wait. I'd love to see you in person since we are in California. Right now I'm in Texas, though, calling
Monday.
in. But
Okay.
I want to see you in person and meet you.
Right.
www.footnanny.com, and look out for me and Bed Bath & Beyond in the holidays.
The holidays come November, bedbathandbeyond.com, and come spring, Bed Bath & Beyond in the stores.
In the store.
Right.
That's awesome.
And watch
And
me-
you're already
and watch
on
me
HSN.
Right, but watch me on evine.com. I'll be on TV. Evine Live. It's right in between QVC and HSN, the number. November 17th and November 18th.
November 17th, November 18th.
And 18th.
Nice.
Tune in.
Got it.
Yes.
We
Thank
will
you.
be, and just give us a little final thought, and then we thank you so much for calling in.
Oh. Final thought is vote with your conscience. Live with compassion, and I'm a go Hillary. Go Hillary.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, we thank you so much then for calling in.
And that's Foot
chatting with
Nanny.
us.
That's footnanny.com.
Yes, footnanny.com.
There you go.
Thanks, Gloria. Have a good
Gloria
one.
Williams. Footnanny.com. And I'm looking forward to the chocolate.
With the peppermint layers.
With the
And
peppermint
me,
layers,
the
yes.
eucalyptus. Love it, love it.
There
Thank
you
you
go.
so much, and you
Pick
have
your
a good
winners.
one.
Pick your winners.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Let me know.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. And with that, we are going to take our first commercial break, and we'll be right back with some more hot topics. I like that. Footnanny.com. And that's Gloria Williams. It's Aim to Purpose, the radio show. It's Louise and Ken. We'll be right back.
Hello, world! It's the 2-year anniversary of Aim to Purpose, the radio show. So first, we want to thank everyone at Global Voice Broadcasting for the opportunity to share our views and opinions with the global audience. Go to gbbstudios.com/show/A2P. Next, we thank our wonderful guests that have graced the airwaves of A2P throughout the second year. Guests like U.S. President of Citizens Commission on Human Rights, Bruce Wiseman, author and founder of World Class Wrecking Crew, Alonzo Williams, retired family practitioner and author, Dr. Gary Coles, M.D., minister and life coach, Jewel Diamond Taylor, Dr. Fitness USA, Stephen Hersey, author of Holy Lockdown, Jeremiah Kamara, legendary actor, film director, and producer, Bill Duke, author and holistic health advocate, Dr. Layla Ali, author and speaker, Carrie Zane, Dr. O from Wellness Group of America, and many other guests that have openly shared their stories, knowledge, humor, wit, and wisdom with the A2P universe. And most of all, we thank you, the listening and viewing audience, for tuning in each and every week and tuning in to our archive shows on YouTube at Aim to Purpose Radio. Information is power, and the more our audience grows, the more we can give back to the audience, which makes all of us powerful. So we encourage all of you to spread the word about Aim to Purpose, the radio show. Lastly, if you'd like to advertise or sponsor the show, contact Shamika Brown at 1-818-533-8463. So keep tuning in as we continue into our third year, and we thank you again. This is Kennon Mason, co-host of Aim to Purpose, the radio show.
Hello, world. Once again, we are back. It is Aim to Purpose, the radio show, and I am here in the studio, Kennon Mason, along with the host, Louise Hicks, who is on location in Texas.
In Texas.
Yes. And we just spoke with Gloria Williams from FOOTNANNY.com, and we had a really nice conversation. I like that concept, FOOTNANNY.com.
Yes, and it's amazing because Foot Nanny really kind of segue us into our topics, some other hot topics, because Ken has shared with me he's going to talk about some athletes, and you know they have to have footwork.
Yeah,
they need their feet to be in good shape. Now, they may be using Foot Nanny. If not, after this show, they may decide to use Foot Nanny as well.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I mean, you have athletes that are that obviously they're on their feet. Footwork is one of the lifeblood, if you will, of sports. And being that there was we didn't have our original guest on, who was who is a 3-time kickboxing champion, and so I know, being a fitness trainer myself, that the feet need at that extra attention, and you do have a lot of sports figures that are constantly on their feet, training and doing what they do to be the best at their chosen athletic sport. Example here, you have one Joseph Jojo Diaz Jr., who is the current NABF featherweight champion. That's the North America Boxing Federation. Jojo Diaz is he's a former Olympian who was in the 2012 Olympics in London, and in my opinion was robbed of a gold medal. I've mentioned this before on a previous show when we featured Jojo after one of his fights, and this past weekend Jojo defended his title. Here he is again training with his trainer, who is his father. His father is his trainer, Joseph Diaz Sr., and they make, in my opinion, they make one hell of a team. Actually, we need to get JoJo on the show one day to tell their story. I think their story is really fascinating. Here is a father-son duo that had no formal training when it comes to boxing. His father got his training ideas from watching clips on YouTube, and took that knowledge that he accumulated and passed it on to his son. And now here you see this clip here of his fight this past weekend at the AT&T Center in Arlington, Texas. How far is Arlington from Corsicana?
About an hour, 15, 20 minutes.
Okay.
I go through there quite frequently when I go to Fort Worth, Texas, so it's not that far. And when you were speaking of the father passing something on to the son, that's basically what we just got from Gloria Williams, Miss Foot Nanny.
Yes.
Who was passed passed on from her mother. That's how she got her career going in what she's doing now, becoming an entrepreneur.
That's right.
So it's great when you have parents that can really pass on to their children something that will become a passion for them. So
Absolutely.
That's great for JoJo.
That's right. And we see him here with his hand raised in victory, with the belt strapped proudly around his chest. And I see bigger things for him. He's under Golden Boy Promotions, which is a creation of Oscar De La Hoya, who is also a former Olympian. And then we go to an Olympian that I just became aware of here. This is Clarissa Shields. She's the first and only female Olympic boxer to win gold medals in 2 consecutive Olympics. In London 2012, she was also in the 2012 Olympics, and she also won a gold medal this past Olympics in Rio, Brazil.
Did she win 2, or did she win 1 this
I
in
believe
Brazil?
she won 1 in Brazil and 1 in London, 2012.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
great
she's
for
a gold.
her. And
Yeah,
she's fairly young, isn't she?
Yeah, I believe she's 21 or 22.
Mm-hmm.
And so we see a clip of her here at the competing at the 2016 Olympic Games. And this is a young female athlete. We rarely get to see women in professional boxing. We see women in professional UFC and mixed martial arts, but in boxing, as we've known it over 5 or 6 decades, we've never seen women take it to those levels that that possibly Layla Ali took it when she was a professional. So we'll see where it takes her. I think it's great that she's a representative for women that that want to take that next step and do something different and be this type of athlete and step into the ring. I think it's great.
That's great what you're saying. And also, I had read an article about Clarissa Shields, and they were talking about her brashness and how she is kind of, I guess, the female young version of Muhammad Ali, how
Right.
she expresses herself and being cocky and confident. I call it confidence.
Confidence, yes.
Confidence, because she appears to be a very confident woman, and that is what it takes to move forward and utilizing her skills and her talents to get those gold medals. And I think it's wonderful, and I'm sure she will continue on her journey of success.
Yeah, I hope she does. I mean, again, it's rare that you see a female in winning these kind of accolades in boxing. So I think it's wonderful. In the last 15 minutes that we have, this is a topic that I've been wanting to talk about for the last 3 weeks. It's a sensitive topic for some people, but for me, I'm glad it's a topic that has come and made its way to the forefront of mainstream news. It's the NFL, the National Football League, is in its 3rd week now, and since the preseason, there's been controversy of an individual football player. His name is Colin Kaepernick. He's a quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers here in America, and he made a decision to quietly protest saluting the national anthem at a preseason football game. It was a quiet protest until it started catching some heat. I guess some people started taking notice of why he wasn't standing. And now we get to a point to where he's made his statements. He's made some very valid points about the current state of affairs here in America and how it pertains to certain groups of people and how they're treated here in America, which is the land of the free and home of the brave. And but he's been getting flack for using his First Amendment constitutional right to protest a grievance against the U.S. government, which he has that right. Whether you agree or disagree with his statements is irrelevant. He has the right, being an American citizen, to make his claims the same way that anyone has their First Amendment right to disagree. And so I think that we need to take a step back, and this is just my opinion, along with millions of other people that have their opinion on this. I think we need to take just even a half step back and look at or pay attention or even take some consideration to the message versus wanting to vilify the messenger. And that this is what happens over and over again, decade after decade after decade. We've seen it time and time again, history repeating itself when someone comes forward and protests a grievance against what's going on in our social in our social state of America. And Colin Kaepernick had the right, just like Muhammad Ali had the right, to do the exact same thing 50 some years ago when he came back from his Olympic ceremony in Rome after winning a gold medal in boxing and coming back to a country where he doesn't have the same equal rights as other people in the country. And he protested this. He also protested the war in Vietnam, which we know was a complete farce now. All documents have been unclassified, and we know now that Vietnam was a total farce. 58,000 Americans were killed. Even more Vietnamese were killed. And Muhammad Ali had a grievance for it. And the very public that you would think that would be behind him for refusing to go to kill and murder innocent people legally, because that's what the military can do. That's what they're allowed to do. They're allowed to murder people legally. And we see what the consequences and we see what the outcomes are for individuals and their families. Colin Kaepernick has spoken on all of these things, and he's even had military veterans back him up on his statements. And I think it's pretty amazing that we have people that actually disagree with, and forget about all the money he makes, because whether you're a rich person or a poor person, we still can see that there are challenges that need to be fixed here in this country. You can't be the greatest country in the world, but then we have all these array of issues and challenges that we keep talking about every 4 years. And it goes back to this.
That's all we do, and is talk about them for the most part. And I'm so glad you brought that subject up, Ken, as one of our hot topics, because we tend here in America to stick our head in the sand and ignore facts. And it's a fact here, and I talk about this too because I keep a pretty good profile on social media in terms of issues that we should be concerned about here in America, because we're in shambles here. And it seems like many people don't want to face the shambles. And as black people, I mean, what he said was so true, particularly us being the black people here in America, and a lot of things that have gone on and are still going on. And many people think, oh, it's nothing going on. We've made so much progress, when we really haven't. We have not made a lot of progress, considering how this country has been going on for hundreds of years now, and we're still fighting racism. So how much progress is that? And we have to have people who have to stand up for something, because I think someone once said, if you don't stand up for something, you'll fall for anything.
That's right.
And
that's
what it seems to be going on here in this country today. Many people are not facing the reality of the chaos we have going on here in America. And for Colin, is that his name?
Colin Kaepernick, yes.
Colin Kaepernick to take a stand. I admire him, or anybody, for taking a stand against what's going on with all the corruption here in America, particularly the corruption in our government. That's where it stems from, a lot of it, because our government and the politicians, we don't hold them accountable. So it falls back on us as people. And I had made some statement on social media today, Facebook, because I had seen this, I guess you could say, kind of like a roast today. And this was done some time ago in the White House. And the guy was talking about how President Obama had aged since he had been in the White House. And it's true. You look at him and you see how he's aged. And he brought about a lot of other points, too, this gentleman that spoke. And I kind of commented on it and said, because somebody had made a comment, this guy is fearless. And he did seem to be fearless in his speaking about what was going on.
Yeah.
And his name is Larry Wilmore. And they were saying how he destroyed the establishment when he did this supposedly comedy scene with some kind of dinner they had in the White House. And he told a lot of truth about what was going on.
Yeah.
And people don't want to hear the truth a lot of times. They just prefer to hear the lies and stay programmed and stay in a world of fantasy land as opposed to facing reality.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, it's, here we see a headline here. It says, this is from sportingnews.com. The headline says, Colin who? NFL's TV partners bury Kaepernick's protest story. You rarely see this story talked about in the mainstream, especially now. I think we heard about it on some of the sports channels, but as far as the other mainstream media, we haven't really seen too much of anything pertaining to this particular subject. Here you see Kaepernick and one of his teammates, Eric Reed, protesting against what they feel is inappropriate actions with our law enforcement. And again, whether you agree or disagree, he has the right to make his statements. This is the same way that Tommy Smith and John Carlos protested back in the 1968 Olympics, when both of them put their fists with black gloves, put their fists in the air with for black power. Because back in the late 60s, we're talking 1968, Martin Luther King was assassinated. Robert Kennedy was assassinated. Two of our biggest leaders, if you will, that wanted to make some real change here in America and kind of reverse the status quo. And they were in positions to do it. And here you see Muhammad Ali again at the 1960 Olympics accepting his gold medal, only to throw it in the river in Kentucky when he came back home.
Because he couldn't even go. And I remember a lot of that stuff. And I remember the colored and white water fountains. That's how far I go back. I'm 65. When we had to, but So, I mean, we're talking 20th century here, and people are still burying their head in the sand. And I'm glad you mentioned and brought forth Muhammad Ali, because back in the day, I remember all this stuff. Muhammad Ali was ostracized pretty much, just the way Colin is being ostracized. And when he died, they were praising him. This country needs to wake up, because we are so backward and we are in such shambles, but yet we're supposed to be the most industrialized, civilized country in the world. And it's like, that's not reality here. It's a fantasy, and we are programmed. Mainstream media put all of this nonsense out, and people listen to it and believe and buy into it. And we need to wake up, America, and face the reality that we are not living in a true democracy at all.
Yeah.
Never have, and we certainly are not now. And when Donald Trump says, let's make America great again, I say, for who? Is he making America great again for?
Right.
Because until all people have the liberty and the freedom, regardless of skin color, and have the economic prosperity that we should have, how can we make it great again? We must make it great first of all.
Right.
So that's my take on that. And I know we're pretty much out of time, so I'll let you have the final say again.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't make anything great again unless it's great a first time. So America can always be better. It is great.
Sure.
It is great, but it can always be better. And on that note, we want to thank our special guest, Gloria Williams, for being on our show and for calling in. We're glad she did call in, being that we expected for her not to call in.
Because we didn't know. We had kind of a scheduling conflict with Miss Frida Gibbs, Frida Cheetah Gibbs.
That's right.
And we had a scheduling conflict, and then as Gloria shared with you, her schedule kind of got bogged down. So the show goes on regardless.
Absolutely.
No matter what.
Yes, the show goes on, and we will
we thank Gloria for calling in.
That's
Definitely.
Right. Yeah, we thank Gloria for calling in, and that about wraps it up. All I got to say as a final thought is something that Arsenio Hall used to say after his show back in the day. He always used to say at the end of the show, strive to be number one. One thing that I try to teach my daughter is that she has to believe in herself and believe that she's number one. You know,
absolutely.
So for everyone listening around the world, strive to be the best that you can be, because whatever position you are now, you can always be better. And on that note, elevate yourself. That's right. And on that note, it's Aim to Purpose, the radio show. And as we always go out, I'll let my mom go ahead and say her famous quote as we wrap it up. And until next week.
Until next week, your power lies within you. Let it loose.
This edition of Aim to Purpose, the radio show, is brought to you by L. Hicks Consulting Services. When you want the best in business coaching,